My name is Bishop E.W. Jackson. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream. He said it was a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. He did not call for the overthrow of the American dream or the fundamental transformation of the dream. He called for the fulfillment of the dream. The dream was encapsulated in the eloquent words of the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. No reasonable person believes that the dream has been fulfilled for Americans of African descent. Not when we have 12% unemployment, 36% youth unemployment, declining incomes, rampant gang violence, drug abuse, 72% of children born without fathers in the home, and deep and persistent poverty in the inner cities of America. The only question is, how are we going to solve these problems? I'm convinced that some leaders in the Black community are much more interested in keeping themselves relevant than in resolving these horrendous issues. They are far more loyal to liberal ideology and party politics than to the needs of the average Black citizen. They are much more committed to improving their own lives than the lives of our youth. That may seem a bit harsh, but in my observation, promoting constant victimization is much more about promoting the rescuer than about rescuing the purported victim. I look at young Black and Hispanic youth and I see vast untapped potential. I see people of intelligence, talents, and abilities who can compete on any level, but they're told that they are victims of racism and that whatever failure they face is the fault of some imaginary white man. There's little need in trying because they won't let you get ahead. Drugs and guns are part of a conspiracy to destroy Black people, they say. Personal initiative, personal responsibility, getting a good education, getting married before having children, staying away from drugs, crime, and violence are almost never spoken of as keys to success and prosperity. Yet the reality is that Black Americans who succeed do so because of how they choose to live their lives. I believe that God opens doors and no one can close them. My great-grandparents were born in slavery and freed after the Civil War. I married a Black woman. I have Black children. I pastor a predominantly Black church. My genetic background shows that my ancestors came from Ghana and the Ivory Coast of Africa. But I am now an American and proud of it because God brought me where I am and made me who I am. As a direct descendant of slaves, I have a deep aversion to racial discrimination. The notion that unless I subscribe to big government, liberal policies, unless I support the genocide of abortion by Planned Parenthood, unless I remain silent in the face of a president who is just flat wrong on the critical issue of marriage, unless I'm a Democrat, I'm not authentically Black, is ludicrous, and those who believe such nonsense should be ashamed of themselves. While civil rights have certainly helped Black Americans, liberal social policies have had the opposite effect. I did not get these values from a political party, but from my Bible and my beloved Father, who taught me to strive without apology and achieve without excuse. He never taught me to hate or blame others for my failures. He taught me to confront the challenges of life, go around them, over them, or through them, but to let nothing and no one hold me back. My Bible teaches that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world and spiritual wickedness in high places. I am deeply distressed by the growing racial divide in America and those who perpetrate it. We should be growing closer, particularly as Christians, but instead we seem to be growing further apart. We must reject leadership that divides us and embrace leadership that brings us together. The 21st century should herald the end of racial division in America. Dr. King, a Black minister, led us out of the Jim Crow era, and Black ministers have an essential role in leading us into the era of racial reconciliation and liberty and justice and prosperity for all. If you're interested in providing that kind of leadership, let's stand together. Call me at 757-802-4246 or email me at bwc@standamerica.us.